Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote News, a look at the Vermilion Police Department's newest gadget, body cameras, and details on a partnership to keep 2 local movie theaters' doors open.
Plus, find out how USD recognized Suicide Prevention Week and an update on the Dakota Dome expansion.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Hendry.
And I'm Brandon Well. We'll get to those stories and more in just a few minutes. First, the headlines with Levi Goots.
Firefighters are slowly gaining ground against a wildfire threatening thousands of homes in the drought-parched mountains north of San Francisco. The blaze has destroyed at least 585 homes and has grown to 70,000 acres. But as of late last night, California officials say the fire is about 30% contained, up from 10% just a day earlier. A 14-year-old Muslim boy has been questioned and handcuffed after teachers decided a homemade clock he brought to his Texas high school resembled a bomb. This has prompted allegations of anti-Islam profiling, even as police and school officials defend their response. Police say Ahmed Muhammad won't be charged with possessing a hoax bomb because there's no evidence that the boy meant to cause alarm at his school. And those are your headlines.
The Vermilion Police Department has equipped its officers with a new gadget. As Coyote News' Mason Horacek reports, these devices are giving the department a new perspective on their work.
The popular decision of police-mounted body cameras has made its way to Vermilion. The Vermilion Police Department is now one of many that require officers to wear mounted recording devices.
The cameras are relatively new to the Vermilion Police Department. I talked to Luke Throwbridge to find out more information about the devices.
The body camera systems have been out there for several years now, and it was something we've been looking into for a few years already, and it wasn't until just this year that we were able to secure funding to make the purchase and commit to such a project here.
The cameras weigh 3.5 ounces and can be mounted to an officer's glasses, hat, collar, or chest. Trowbridge says some of the benefits to these devices are increased evidence collection and help keep citizens and officers be honest.
I'm on board with it. It could cut down on a number of incidences of police brutality and maybe clear up some of those murky cases that you hear about police officers interacting with the public.
I think it's a good thing because if the police are behaving responsibly, then they have nothing to hide. And if something were to happen, then we'd have an accurate account of events.
Had a few incidents that does require us to sit down and review the video and stuff, and the video is hands down nothing better that I've seen before anyhow, so working out very well for us.
For Coyote News, I'm Mason Horacek.
Officer Trowbridge also says the cameras are a big upgrade from their patrol car video systems. This semester, university officials are already making changes to the rules of on-campus living. One new rule went into effect just 2 weeks ago. University housing has recently put a ban on smoking e-cigarettes in the residence halls. Housing Director Todd Tucker says many events led to the decision.
We have had a growing number of fire alarms this year. Some of them have been related to e-cigs.
Tucker says that when making policy changes, it's important to focus on all students.
It's really important for us to make the best decision for the community itself. Students don't necessarily like vacating their room at 2 o'clock in the morning when the fire alarm goes off all the time.
Although e-cigarettes don't give off smoke, they can still cause an alert. This happens when the vapor floats into the fire suppression system, triggering the alarm.
This weekend, the Coyote football team hosts their first home game of the season at the Dakota Dome. Coyote News' Michael Guerin is live in the muck with Student Services Director Lindsay Sparks to discuss what students can expect on Saturday. Michael?
Well, Brandon, the Drake Bulldogs are headed here to Vermilion for the home opener of the Coyotes, and I'm here in the muck with Lindsay Sparks, who's joining me. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you, Michael.
And so there's a lot planned for this weekend. Let's first talk about tailgating. You just sent an email a couple days ago. 30 spots are available for Tailgate Nation. How many are now?
Yeah, we have about 12 left now, so that's really exciting. We anticipate seeing a lot of other students who aren't necessarily associated with a car or a tailgating spot. So we have food for about 300. We have walking tacos on Saturday. We open at 10 a.m. a.m. and we're asking students to come in off of Dakota Street to help with the traffic pattern and just to have a good time. And we will let them tailgate until about a half an hour before kickoff, which is 1:30, and then we'll ask them to go inside down the ramp through the garage door, which was our student entrance last year, and then cheer on the Coyotes to a victory.
And we have a map of where this is located at. It's in the red section. If we're looking at the map right now, the red area is where students will tailgate. Now, if students did not get a spot yet, can they get it now?
Absolutely. Just send me an email, lindsay.sparks@usd.edu. We'll get you one. We'll get your friends one. You can bring games and music, food, grills, whatever you want to do to make tailgating fun, as long as it's safe. Then we want you to come and we want you to be there.
And there's going to be new giveaways this year. You've got, looks like laundry bags. There's textbooks.
Yeah. In conjunction with athletics, through our fan participation committee, we've provided giveaways at basically every game. Joe Tente in athletics has done a great job of putting together some exciting things. So this game, it's koozies at tailgating, it's laundry bags at the end of the game, and then at some point during the second half, one lucky student will walk away with $500 to Barnes & Noble for textbooks.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much, Lindsay. We have a full list of all the giveaways on our Facebook and Twitter page. Right now, you can check that out. Reporting live in the muck, I'm Michael Guerin for Coyote News.
Thanks, Michael. Coming up after the break, learn more about efforts to restore 2 local movie theaters and the 75-year-old tradition behind one local vendor's rib recipe. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
One local nonprofit group is hoping to make the Vermilion Theater experience more enjoyable. On this week's Yart Report, Michaela Feldman takes us downtown where students will soon be able to enjoy the new changes.
USD and the Vermilion Downtown Cultural Association have come together to keep 2 movie theaters in town. The Vermilion and the Coyote Twin went up for sale last winter. Associate Professor Elizabeth Smith says the theaters are important for not only students but also for the community.
I felt intuitively that if those downtown theaters closed, we would have a big hole in downtown.
The group is a nonprofit corporation that has purchased and is now running the downtown theaters. The group is also partnered with the National Music Museum. The Vermilion Downtown Cultural Association formed when members discovered that the owner of this theater had started selling off equipment. The association plans on renovating the facade of the 2 theaters. The old video store, which is connected to and is a part of the Coyote Twin, may become a coffee space. The renovations also include new seating and new equipment. Dean of Students Kim Greaves says the renovations will allow students a full theater atmosphere.
The students used to come to movies in the muck, but we didn't have great attendance previously, so now this will allow students to see firsthand movies that are coming out immediately and have a much better positive theater experience.
The Coyote Twin is currently open and the Vermilion will hopefully open in the spring. For the Yote Report, I'm Michaela Feldman.
The theaters will now accept both credit and Coyote cards.
Earlier this week, President Obama announced that prospective college students will now be able to apply for federal financial aid 3 months earlier than usual. They'll also be able to submit a previous year's tax return. These are changes aimed at helping more people pay for school. Under the current system, students planning to start school in the fall of 2017 must wait until January of that year to fill out the FAFSA. The new system will let them complete the form as early as October 2016, the month that marks the traditional start to college application season. People who attended the Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll event in downtown Vermilion this past weekend enjoyed live music, entertainment, and, of course, barbecue. Now, Coyote News' Luke Bryant brings us to Hex Barbecue, where a 75-year-old tradition is the main ingredient in each order of food.
Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll took place this past weekend in downtown Vermilion. The event featured various activities including live music, Coyote News draws its attention towards Hex Barbecue, where a secret family barbecue sauce has remained intact for 75 years. Jody Harnois, now the owner and manager of Hex Barbecue, currently holds the secret sauce and applies it to his food. The sauce itself is quick to make.
There's a lot of ingredients to it, but we've got it down over the years, and I would say within 10 minutes we've got a couple gallons, and so for this event we're mixing up close to 20 gallons.
The secret recipe was forged by Jody's grandfather, who kept the recipe a secret until his death. After his death, the recipe was passed down to a very few people in the family. Jody himself didn't get the recipe until 3 months ago. The recipe itself, though, proved to keep up his 75-year impression by leaving hungry eaters happy with the taste.
Behind me is Hex Barbecue, where many people will be coming down to the Ribs, Rods, and Rock and Roll in downtown Vermillion to try out the secret family barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce was really good, complemented the pork very well, and it was good on the beans. It was good on everything. I put it just on about everything on my plate.
Hex was a popular food destination this past Friday night, but what drew people in was the sauce. For Coyote News, I'm Luke Bryant.
Harnois says he doesn't plan on altering the 75-year-old recipe.
Coming up after the break, find out how USD recognized Suicide Prevention Week. Plus, a look at how one relatively new campus organization is spreading the word about their group. Stay with us.
USD's Media and Journalism Department can be seen and heard all over campus. Faculty members know that hands-on experience now is the key to success after college. Get professional experience by participating in one of the many practicums offered. Have your voice heard on the radio. Edit a promo for a campus organization. Investigate breaking news stories for a weekly newspaper. Design advertisements for local businesses. Get involved with the Media and Journalism Department at USD and start your future now.
This is Coyote News.
Last week, people across the country recognized Suicide Prevention Week. Lost and Found, a student organization dedicated to prevent suicide, and the USD Counseling Center paired up for the week to be a resource for those who need it. The president of Lost and Found, Logan Anderson, says that he and the group are always available to help.
You can talk to anybody in Lost and Found. That's really what we're trying to be, is more of the support system for USD and the other students, and figure out why people are leaving, what's making them upset or depressed, and really trying to fix that.
If you or anyone else needs someone to talk to, Lost and Found members are available for your support. You can contact them by emailing the address at the bottom of your screen. Lost and Found meets on the first Tuesday evening of every month at 5 o'clock in Beacom Room 206. As part of National Prevention Suicide Week, community members and students attended the Nikki's Fund 5K Run Walk on Saturday. Participants registered for the 10th annual run at Prentice Park before warming up with stretches as families gathered to show their support. The funds raised have provided financial support to students in need of medical assistance, lab work, and testing for mental health related issues. The route spanned from the downtown area to the USD campus, ending back at the park. Runners then received prizes before a balloon release in remembrance of those lost to suicide. Since 2006, the run has raised almost $40,000 for USD students.
As a relatively new student organization, USD's Sustainability Club is trying to increase awareness of their group on campus. This weekend, the club hosted a tour to Spirit Mound, and Coyote News' Carmen Susan caught up with members to discuss their plans for the future.
The club is steadily making their presence known on campus. A small group met in the library parking lot to begin a tour of Spirit Mound. The purpose of the event is to raise awareness for sustainability.
A lot of people have various definitions of sustainability, but in general, it talks about improving the environment, improving social well-being, including economic well-being, both now and into the future.
Spirit Mound ties in with sustainability through preservation, where efforts for restoration began in 2001.
Tallgrass prairie used to be the dominant landscape in this region, and we have less than 1% of it remaining. So it's really one of the very few places where we have prairies left.
For the upcoming year, the Sustainability Club has one key goal in sight.
Mainly just to spread the word about what is sustainability, because it's not something that a lot of people know about.
Membership isn't limited to students. Faculty and community members are welcome to join. For Coyote News, I'm Carmen Susan.
The sustainability program started in the fall of 2012, and the club was established the following year in the fall of 2013. On this week's Coyote blog, Andy Hartman shares her belief in taking life at a bit of a slower pace.
I'm here today to talk to you about something that I firmly believe in, something that has had an extremely positive impact on my life. That thing is laziness. I know that the term lazy has a negative connotation in society, but who says society is right? Society also believes that someone my age is too old to watch Scooby-Doo, and that is the most outrageous thing I have ever heard. Laziness is great. Laziness doesn't stop you from doing things. It makes you figure out a way to do things with as little effort as possible. It's genius. I try to be as lazy as possible in nearly every aspect of my life. I wear t-shirts pretty much every day. I'd be wearing a t-shirt right now if I weren't on live television, if it were socially acceptable. But it's not, because society is mean. Why shouldn't I be lazy? Why walk to the bookstore to get a book when you could order off of Amazon from the comfort of your own couch? Why go to the gym and exercise when I could instead sit in my room and watch Ferris Bueller for the 40th time? Why do things when you could instead not do things? That's my personal philosophy. For Coyote News, I'm Andy Hartman.
Thanks, Andy. Coming up after the break, a look at the Coyote football team's victory over UC Davis, plus an update on the Dakota Dome expansion. Stay tuned.
This is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the USD football team scores its first victory of the season. And Coyote News' Sean Bauer is live with high jumper Tyler Frank to discuss the recent stipend ruling. I'm Erica Arpan.
And I'm Anthony Gosh. The women's tennis team won 2 titles in Des Moines over the weekend. Plus, in the Reiners Report, Devin gives you his thoughts on a major college football program facing injury concerns. First, the headlines. Levi?
Former Bismarck, North Dakota Mayor Marlon Hickinson has trademarked 3 of the 5 possible nicknames that the University of North Dakota is considering. The move comes as an attempt to keep the University of North Dakota without a nickname. UND dropped the Fighting Sioux nickname in 2012 due to NCAA rulings. This has opened up a contest for its new nickname to the public, settling on 5 possible choices. USD Athletic Director David Herbster has announced the promotions of several members within the athletic department. Bruce Fischbach has been promoted to Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Medicine, Drew DeGroot promoted to Director of Compliance, Joe Tenti to Assistant Athletic Director for Athletic Marketing, and Bryant Betchler to Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Information. These promotions are continuing the restructuring of the athletic department that began this summer. Moses Malone, a 3-time NBA MVP and Hall of Famer, passed away at the age of 60 on Sunday due to complications from cardiovascular disease. Malone ranks 7th all-time in total points, 3rd in rebounds, and 23rd in blocks. And those are your headlines.
In January, the NCAA ruled that the schools can provide their student athletes to include covering expenses beyond the definition of a scholarship. On September 4th, USD Athletic Director David Herbster announced that starting next year, South Dakota will provide the cost of attendance stipends for its athletes. Now, Coyote News' Sean Bauer is live in the muck with high jumper Tyler Frank to discuss the impact this decision has on him and other USD athletes. Sean?
Thanks, Erica. I'm here in the muck with junior high jumper Tyler Frank to discuss the recent stipend announcements the USD Athletic Department made on September 4th. Thanks for joining us today, Tyler. First, what are your initial thoughts on the stipend announcement made by the athletic department?
I think it's a big stepping stone for us as a relatively new D1 school, and I think there's a lot of room for improvement, and I think that's the direction we're going.
You say room for improvement. As an athlete on scholarship, what are some things you wish that the scholarships covered now that I guess that they don't cover now?
Directly towards the stipend, I'm not sure how they address the cost per student. I think it's scholarship based. My opinion is I honestly think that a lot of the athletes have similar or the same living costs with housing, food, and all those types of things, and they have the stipend based on scholarship percentage in which you're on, and I personally think it should be equal to everyone else, but I guess that's the NCAA's decision.
And then you are on a partial scholarship right now, so you don't receive full tuition coverage. Are you still eligible to receive these stipends?
From what I understand, I will receive the amount of stipend in which the percentage of scholarship I'm on. So, yes.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much. That was USD high jumper Tyler Frank talking about the stipend announcement made by the USD Athletic Department. Live from the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Sean Bauer.
Thanks, Sean. The USD football team picked up its first win of the season this weekend, defeating UC Davis 27-17. Junior running back Trevor Balma ran for a career-high 186 yards and scored 2 touchdowns to lead the Coyotes. UC Davis scored early, but Balma and the Yotes were able to respond each time, including his 68-yard touchdown run midway through the third quarter, which proved to be the final score of the game. The Coyote defense also played well, forcing 4 turnovers and having 4 sacks, including 3 on the Aggies' final drive of the game. The win moves USC to 1-1 on the season. The Coyotes host their home opener this Saturday at the Dakota Dome against Drake at 2 o'clock.
Mild summer weather has allowed work on the new soccer and track complex to reach its final stages. Crews are prepping the track for its final running surface and the soccer field for its artificial turf. The soccer complex will feature 1 artificial and 1 natural surface field. A building for bathrooms, concessions, and equipment will be constructed between the 2 venues. This part of the project was temporarily dropped but re-added after more funds were raised. Athletic Director David Herbster says he expects both facilities to be among the best in the Midwest. The complex is expected to be completed in October. On Monday, crews laid a red surface on the track. USD plans to showcase the new track complex when they host the Summit League Outdoor Track and Field Championships in May. The Coyote women's tennis team captured 2 titles at Drake's Roger Knapp Invite this past weekend in Des Moines. USD freshman Elise Van Zeist won the Flight D singles, and the doubles team of Emma Kranendonk and Milika Polovic won the Flight B doubles. The USD teams went 8-2 overall, with only 1 loss to an outside opponent. The tennis team continues to play next week at Minnesota's Gopher Invitational on September 25th.
The Coyote women's volleyball team went 2-2 this past weekend at the UND Classic in Grand Forks. On Friday, USD swept Jacksonville State but lost to host North Dakota in straight sets. On Saturday, the Coyotes rebounded to defeat Drake 3-1, but lost to Green Bay in 4 sets. The team travels to West Lafayette, Indiana this weekend for a tournament at Purdue. In this week's Reiner's Report, Devin shares his thoughts on how the Fighting Irish can stay on top this season, despite injured players.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are off to a 2-0 start to the 2015 season. They entered the season as possible playoff team. However, they'll now be without their starting quarterback and running back for the remainder of the season. Tyrion Folston tore his ACL Week 1 against Texas. Quarterback Malik Zaire suffered a broken ankle Saturday against Virginia. In order for the Irish to continue to play at a high level, they need to buy into the next man up philosophy. I believe they will. CJ Prosise stepped in at running back and played exceptional. Sophomore quarterback Deshaun Kaiser took over for the injured Zaire in the 3rd quarter Saturday and threw a game-winning touchdown pass in the closing seconds. He'll be making his first career start this week. I realize that coming into a game and starting a game are completely different, but he will have a full week of practice to prepare as a starter. Head coach Brian Kelly is a great QB teacher, and I have no doubt that he will have Kaiser ready to play against Georgia Tech on Saturday. The defense will be able to keep the Irish in the game as long as the offense avoids costly turnovers. I expect the Irish to continue playing well, and I have confidence that Kaiser can lead this team the rest of the season and keep the Irish on track for a playoff berth. And that's the Reiners Report.
Thanks, Devin. Coming up next on this week's edition of Coyote Shorts, a look at how a Wi-Fi connection can be the deciding factor when it comes to finishing your homework. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, this weekend is the first home football game for the Coyotes.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students if they plan on attending the first home game and if they plan on staying for the whole thing.
I like going to the football games. I went to most of them last year, so I like cheering on our Coyotes, and it's a fun experience for everybody, so yeah.
Absolutely, I'm going to be at the first home football game. I have been looking forward to football the whole year, so.
No, I don't plan on going because I have better things to do with my time.
Yeah, because Coyote pride and go Yotes and stuff.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the first home game. It should be really fun.
No, because I'm not a big football fan.
Yeah, I generally go to all the games, and I usually stay for all of them. If it's a blowout, I guess we leave sometimes because it does tend to get boring.
I plan on going, but I don't think I'm going to stay the whole time. I don't know, get bored at our football games easily. We don't cheer enough, I don't think.
It's hard to stay for the whole thing because everyone leaves right away, but I try to stay for the entire thing because my friends are on the cheer team and I love watching football.
Can't think of a good reason why I would leave early.
Yes, I am going to the first football game, and I am going to stay for the whole game because I'm part of the Coyote Crazies.
On this week's edition of Coyote Shorts, we take a look at how the university Wi-Fi can play a crucial role when it comes to finishing and submitting your homework.
Remember, class, you have a 5-page paper due on Monday, and don't put it off to the last second because you know that the Wi-Fi can be a little unreliable.
You can get that paper done pretty soon?
Yeah, I'll probably wait later until the week, though.
Better get it done quick, you know, the USD Wi-Fi.
Nah, I'm not too worried about it. Oh, no! I have a paper due in 8 hours. I haven't started it yet. Finally, I'm finished with my paper. Now I just need to submit it and turn it in. What? I need to go somewhere else, see if it works somewhere else.
Did you get that paper done?
No, I'm going to submit it now.
You know the Wi-Fi's been out all day, right?
Oh my God.
That's all for Coyote News. Be sure to check out our new daily updates by following us on Facebook and Twitter. Throughout the week, we'll feature news and sport headlines, what's trending, and previews of upcoming campus events.
And if you have an idea that you'd like to share, email it to us at kyotnews@coyotes.usd.edu. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.